The second map is upon us. It will be overpass. If you did just join the stream, then welcome. Endpoint did take the first map of Train. It was their choice, and they won 16-10. It wasn't without twists and turns. There were chances for North. They'll be ruining those missed opportunities. A couple of pretty awful rounds that went across from them. But take nothing away from Endpoint. Surreal in particular was phenomenal. Max getting the secondary AWP on Train really turned the tide when it counted. And now North have their choice of map to fall back on. We'll see if they can get it done. They picked the T side. Oh, sorry, pardon me. Endpoint picked the CT side. They will have to start on the T side with a smoke and a couple flashes. No kit for Mighty Max, but he does have a healthy dosage of grenades. They do the fairly standard, you know, best spawn, peaks middle, and then falls back and allows the rest of his team to stack on B to start the round off. Now they're going to rotate back over on A side, realizing that there's no fast B play imminent. North keeping their options open. Oh no. Oh, Gade. Oh, Gade, what have you done? That ain't it, Chief. Surreal spins around, pivots in for two, and now his teammates can lock it down from the dumpster. Surreal. Are there more kills forthcoming? No. Cajun will somewhat salvage that smoke. A 3v3, and Cajun has them all at the headshot angle. They walk in, and they get bulldozed down. Robin with a USP by his side, and a smoke at his disposal. Without a kit, it's looking pretty rough right about now. And there is the headshot from Cajun. He picks up a 4K. That was looking pretty dire for a few moments, but North salvaged the situation. Thank you, Anonymous Gifter, for the sub. Appreciate that. Thanks for just being here today, guys. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. Appreciate the support. Bruh, did you just waste his use? That's not okay. Nade out. No one there to receive any damage. Endpoint. Full deagles. It's not a deco, though. They haven't really left much in terms of money in their bank balance. Their accountant will be pretty sad about the state of affairs. Crucial doesn't fully buy, as he obviously wants the AWP. A boost with a flashbang nearly yields a kill. That grenade not too far off doing serious damage. Flamesy just about survives, but only for a few more seconds for MSL to come in with a triple spray on his Galil. Switching to his Glock, 4K comes in. Could be on for the ace if Crucial will allow him that luxury, but doesn't look too good. North off to a cracking 2-0 start, though. I'm going to be honest here, Dank Evan, and thanks again for the sub, by the way. I don't know who Vince Offer is, so I can't even try and, like, meme you or anything. I have no clue. The third map is Vertigo if we need it.
Terrorists win.
So, Crucial holds on to the deagle. Has the best spawn for middle peak. Curious if he actually goes for the peak and tries to land a 1-deag. It is the kind of angle that you can pre-fire pretty easily down towards the playground, so we'll see. It does seem like that's what he's going to go for. 2 HEs also picked up on Robin and Flamesy. That's a good flash. Stopping that insta-headshot from coming into play. Damage done to Crucial. Cajun B. And AZ takes a little bit of chip damage on their way in. And now a headshot from Flamesy's USP. They know another player is down here, so AZ's going to have to fend off against all the oncoming CTs, but MSL snakes his way around the back. And Robin, who's put down damage, has to reload, and in doing so, he is vulnerable and is pounced upon from MSL, who gets another 2. But Crucial is still alive, still has that deagle. This round may not be over just yet. AK picked up. This would be a decent weapon to save. Oh, no! I think he wanted to save it, but now that he's just splattered MSL through the smoke, he goes for this, more than likely. Now he knows the bomb's been planted. It's unlikely that Lekro went back onto short that quickly, so he will use this opportunity to push through. The bomb has just been planted, so the lack of kit's not really an issue. If he can get this kill quickly, more than enough time for the defusal. Comes down to this, and Lekro has the perfect angle. Locks it with the Galil, but 4 kills with almost 0 investment. I think they picked up 2 nades. That's what, $600. 4 kills for $600? Yeah, you take that. You definitely take that if you're Endpoint. 100%. Puts Cajun down to 200. MSL down to 800. Who do I think wins this match? I think it goes to Vertigo, and I think Endpoint might take Vertigo. If the sound is glitched, do you try a cheeky refresh on Twitch? There's a lot of Twitch issues that are fixed very easily by just refreshing the page. There shouldn't be any sound issues coming from this stream, at least. At least I really hope not. So if you have any issues with your stream, just hit the refresh and hopefully that fixes it for you. Our 2 players on Banana, the Endpoint for the time being, will be Robin joined by Crucial. Let's give them the opportunity to fast rotate towards long if that's where the call comes from. A lot of teams would play 3 players on B, but Endpoint deciding to just keep Max alongside Surreal down there. The thing is though, Crucial's been caught just out in the open from Gade. And with his life lost so easily without much of a return, it should be a case of just locking it down from here on out. North are looking so much better than their train performance. As I said before, going into the first map, North feel like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of team. Like, you never quite know what side of them is going to show up. They are pretty inconsistent. Their highs are exceptionally high, but their lows are pretty woeful at times. So perhaps Overpass is where we see the best that North have to offer. And so far, it is looking that way. Endpoint try and save their M4. May not be afforded that chance as Gade is going aggressively towards Surreal. Only 27 HP though, so 1 bullet and he's down. What happens? Does a bit of damage and gets information. So in that previous round, where with a Deagle and 2 HEs, they took down 4 players and nearly pulled it off. Losing straight away with 3 players left alive on North somewhat mitigates and bypasses any of that. Now the economy can build a little bit better. Endpoint down to Deagles. Soul M4 with a mountainous task ahead of them. Can Surreal put the bullets down range and turn the tides of this map? Did a great job on train. Most of it wasn't a T side though, it should be mentioned. Blackrow goes in for the plants, just faking it to make sure no players on short can come and deal with him. Feels confident that's not the case, and looking like a 5-0. You refreshed it, it's good now? Cool. Yeah, Twitch does have quite a few bugs, unfortunately, but the good news is that they're easily fixable for the most part. And I'm hoping the visuals are okay as well. I turned up the quality to 1080p 60 or 1080 60p or whatever it is. So it should look better than yesterday, I'm hoping. Hopefully they have no like frame drops or any of that nonsense. If you were asked would you cast with machine would be dope, sure. I'd be down to cast with machine. I've actually known Alex a pretty long time. We both did COD 4 years and years and years ago, so Supine, you're very welcome. This is the second match of the day, that is correct. The first match is been and gone, and this is our second map of the second match. I do leave the VODs up though, so if you do want to check back on how the games came down, or you want to rewatch any particular rounds, they're up there for you to watch. So the games from yesterday as well. So there's plenty of CS content up there if you want to watch it. By all means, jump in. This has been a bit of a dud of a map so far. It's been incredibly one-sided. Let's have a look from MSL's viewpoint as he is boosted up, misses the shot, and nearly dies for his troubles. Who was it we saw yesterday up there? I think it was Larson. I think it was Larson on Movistar Riders. He boosted up, missed his shot, was dinked down to 2 and couldn't move, and nearly died. It was really awkward. And I think that was actually against Endpoint, if I'm not mistaken. Shot that MSL probably should be landing, to be fair, so maybe that is a way back in for Endpoint, considering that he's been knocked down to 20. 40 seconds to play with. It is looking like a B-centered approach, and Endpoint, again, only have 2 players over here. And with Max being out in the open, that is easy pickings for Gade, which puts that much more pressure on Surreal. He has a smoke he can try and play behind. There's not too much time left. Flashbang in, there's the peak, they all line up for Surreal, but Cajun B is too fast on the trigger, and that's down to Flamesy. But the same result falls upon Endpoint. That is looking like a 6-0. North are on fire right now. The entries are crisp, the aim is great, they're making the right reads at the right time. So 6-0 it is, and Crucial being tagged up from behind, fortunate to get away with his life. That would have been an AWP dropping, which would have been brutal in terms of their rebuy potential. With the saved guns, though, they can go in for another rebuy, and it's going to include an AWP, of course. The saved one from Crucial. I mean, the other pretty devastating part of this is you look at the overall kill dispersal on Endpoint, and it's pretty grim. They have what? Let's have a look at this. They have 9 kills. It's round 7, they have 9 kills collectively. Only 1 death on Lecro, just 2 on MSL, Cajun and Gade, and you can see their money is out of control. Smoke down onto Monster. This time they will have a trifecta of defenders on B. They're not playing with their 2, and instead, they're playing aggressively in bathrooms. They want that early warning system in play. Give them the chance to rotate if the call comes out. Surreal, big kill, needs to drop back with 8 HP. And North will not allow them the chance to catch their breath. They will push directly behind this. That flashbang could not be better. Blinding up both Surreal and Mighty Max in one fell swoop. And MSL won't miss. This is looking like it could very well be a massacre of a half. And this, of course, is the side that many teams would say is the easier of the two, the CT side. And it's looking a little bit ominous. Here's a question for you guys. Someone asked me this the other day, and I thought it was quite an interesting one. Where do you guys think is the maximum potential ceiling for both of these teams? So if we look at like HLTV rankings or whatever, where do you think is the best possible end world ranking that both these teams could feasibly attain with the current rosters? Now, I realize some of you are going to be biased because you're either a part of the orgs in question or you're a fan of theirs, but I'm still curious just to hear your thoughts on that. Because we're in a strange time now with Counter-Strike, with the whole COVID stuff and a lot of games being played online. What we do know about Endpoint, though, is even when they've had slow starts, they are very much capable of waking up, dusting themselves down, and being very good in that second half. Mighty Max in particular had a rough start to train. He wasn't having a great game, and he got that AWP in his hands, and, well, the rest is history. But that wasn't AWP on the CT side, and it was the T side where he struggled last time around. So, I'll have to see if he can pick it up. Tactical timeout has been deployed. Understandably, this has been a very fast 7-0 scoreline. What music kit do I use? SCOG 3 Arena. Listen, mate, just because you're losing your bet doesn't mean the game is fixed, alright? Take off the tinfoil hat, it'll be okay. Excellent entry. Well, entry probably the wrong term. Opening. We'll go with opening instead. Suppose you could say the Endpoint have now entered the server for what feels like the first time with the kill from Crucial. And it's MSL that he's taken down, which is no small task. Crucial missing out on his third shot. He could have had so much impact. Still has tons of impact, of course, with the 2K. Information gathered as well as to where one of these last two players are. The bomb's in an awkward position for North, but the CT's not in a position to find this out for themselves. Alright, so I'm getting the answers back now because of the delay. Interesting. I'll read over some of these in a second, guys. Appreciate the answers. We'll just see if North can pull this one off, or if this is going to be Endpoint's first round on Overpass. Left row engaged. Bit of damage to Flamesy. Do they anticipate a second player to be here? There's a lot of angles they have to watch out for. That Molotov's not ideal either. Flamesy can just stay in position. Now he's burning. Now he's struggling. They do look to push their way in. Smoke denying some vision, but they didn't anticipate the double stack. You very rarely would. You'd expect that second player to be bank, maybe even long or behind the site, but not both players up close on the right-hand side behind the truck. A lot of people are saying Endpoint like 20 to 25th and North like 5th to 10th-ish. I think that's pretty fair. Now, I wasn't talking about now, Joe. I just meant like roughly in the future, with more time together, more chance to, you know, get things locked down. And UD92, I'd say that's pretty fair, man. I'd say, like, generally what people in chat are saying is pretty spot on. Why you watch and caster this? I'm not even sure how to answer that there, Chief, because I like CS. Why are you sat here watching it? Why you casted this match? You forgot to add like a men's or something at the end of that one, Chief. That definitely needed a men's at the end. Alright, Cajun B, first of all, Endpoint, maybe this is their rallying cry. They got the round, confidence building. Maybe they've read a read. They've got a tell. Nice work from Crucial. He's been in this position a few times already, though. I think that's a part of the puzzle that North are going to have to figure out sooner rather than later. Kill comes back. AZ straight through the smoke and does dispatch of Mighty Max. Opens up business on B. Mollies and flashes being tossed in. Gabe will be joining his teammate momentarily. Good Molotov put into place, but the timing working against North. As Flamesy and Robin reap the site. And Endpoint get their second in a row. Therein lies the issue, though. With all the rounds that North picked up and how comfortable most of them were, they have tons of cash still available. Even after this buy, they have 3 players that can comfortably rebuy again, and MSL probably will be able to as well. So this is a long trek back. But the journey starts now. Why are you bullying me? Listen, I'm not bullying anybody, but he's asked the same question about 10 times in chat. Why you casted this match? Like, what does that even mean? Let's go for Let Crow. They push in. Good flashbang again. You see this utility is so good from North. It's always on point in these opening engagements, but the aim, certainly not shabby from Endpoint. Flamesy takes a kill, falls back into the smoke, escapes to the shadows. They know that this flank is a possibility, and damage inflicted on both Cajun, but additionally Surreal. The player advantage maintained for Endpoint. What they may not realize is there's actually 2 players coming round from the backside. The other one being Mighty Max. Surreal guesses wrong. The 50-50 coin flip comes up tails. As his head is smashed into by a bullet. And Gade 1v4 gets the first, but that will be where he stops his killing streak. Endpoint with a 3rd in a row. They're doing it. Slowly but surely. Bomb plant, though, again, as I said before, allows another rebuy. I've been sitting here for 10 minutes thinking he was casting. That's not a joke. I don't know what that means. I have been casting. That's right. What do you earn as a caster per game? For these, nothing. I'm just doing it on my channel, which obviously has its own benefits. And also, like, casting at events, it's not per game, it's per day. Like, typically, your rate is per day. Sometimes for certain events, it might be per event that you get paid. But it's not per game, typically. Like, some online work is. It depends what level you work at, I suppose. Men's. Ooh, Crucial, okay. Threading the eye of the needle. Gade gets wrecked down to 15, partially through the wall though, so does survive just about by the skin of his teeth. I have to give credit to Endpoint after being battered 7-0. They are making a bit of a comeback, but Flamesy catching nades on the head is deemed forfeit. AK from Robin. Or his perspective now picked up. Good shot from Crucial again. He's having so much impact around the bathrooms right now. Goes back in again, but this is the same angle he has done so many times in MSL. I said it before. He's the kind of IGL that will read this. He will know what's coming up. If you have tells, if you have behavioral patterns, he will figure it out. And Crucial has done that one too many times. Grenade lined up, that should land on MSL's head. Doesn't do as much damage as I was anticipating, and definitely doesn't stop the plant regardless. Why don't I cast more often? There just isn't that much out there right now, honestly, dude. Like, with COVID, it's kind of... It's affected a lot of different things. I'm sure it has affected a lot of your lives as well, you know? Hopefully, when things go back to somewhat of normalcy, I can cast a little bit more often. It's not my decision, at least. In terms of, like, games on my channel, it's because a lot of IPs are closed. Most IPs are closed, whether it's ESL or whoever. So... You should cast a Greg sausage roll instead. Mate, now I'm on keto, I can't have them, and it makes me sad. So the wins have turned into an L for Endpoint one more time, regardless of what happens from this point. They will be trailing come half-time. Now we just need to figure out how many rounds North will have. Matt, I'm not taking it seriously, dude. Like, these casts are just like a bit of chill fun for me, so I like to bounce off chat quite a bit. Answer questions, ask questions, just have a bit of fun with you guys. Don't worry, I'm not taking any of it seriously. Just a bit different, you know? Oh no, the timing! Flamesy! Oh. We've all been there, let's be honest. We've all run around the corner with a nade out and suddenly a player's just there and you know you're dead. There's not really anything you can do. Crucial again though with the AWP. This time playing more passively in bank, not going aggressively, but that passivity may afford him the chance to save the AWP, and that's really his only choice. Because we are in another post plant. Boosting up, takes down MSL at least, so that's an expensive death. Oof, easy tag down to 7. He'll think twice about re-peeking that angle. The dream would be to get paid per word like a voice actor, £5 per word, and hope for a Fnatic match. Mate, listen, let's be honest. Casters, and I lump myself in with this to a degree, casters are an egocentric bunch. If you actually incentivize them to talk more, they'd never stop. They would purposely speak like machine guns for the entire game and give everyone a headache. To rake in that cash. So I feel like that would be the worst idea ever. Here we go, Endpoint going aggro. Seeing if they can finish this. So many extinguished Molotovs towards Playground. And Robin is laid in wait. He can hear footsteps. He knows what's coming up. How many kills can he take down with him? There's one. And Crucial's in with a second. Can Robin hold the line? Crucial's doing an excellent job. The two of them have barreled this down. The two-man wrecking crew. And there's Flamesy to chip in with the last. Excellent call. Excellent execution. And it would take something special to take down North right now, how well they're playing on their T side. That aggro play yielding great results. What's my best achievement in casting? That's a good question. I would say probably casting the Katowice Major. That was definitely a standout for me. It was a great experience. The Polish crowd was so cool, man. Like, being in the Spodek was really, really special. Well, slowing it down somewhat. They are taking their time to get into playground. This is where plays like what we just saw really does reverberate in the back of the minds of the enemy. They're not sure if you go for it again. And in doing so, slowing down that much allows Endpoint to get information, to get forward positioning elsewhere on the map, and to whittle down some of that crucial time. You can see 50 seconds left already. Not a single casualty has been put on the map. Good play again from Crucial. We've seen him do this a few times before. Will he get rewarded? Yes, he shall. AZ banged out by the AWP, and Gade goes in for more. Good flashbang tossed in from Cajun B. Gade will reap that as they look to barrel down onto the site. Gade with a spray. Low HP, finished off, and now Cajun, last man standing. 3 to find, and falls at the first hurdle. Endpoint will pick up a 5th. And finally, North's economy in the bin in the final round of the half. Nades are plenty tossed in from North. They will be pressing aggressively. They have the weaponry to do it with pistols. You want to go for that drive-by. You want to get up close and personal. Flamesy, though, with a beautiful flash from Mighty Max with a spray with 3 kills to his name. Robin stops the ace from being possible. And then Dade makes sure it doesn't happen with a headshot with the Deagle. But Endpoint take a 6th round, which, considering at one point this was 7-0, that's really not a bad comeback at all. Still, of course, North in a great position. What's up, the Mad Archer? Did you cool, man? Was that after I was done casting? Because I was wrecked. What some people don't realize is, when I did the London Major, they wanted to keep it secret, so I went down in the morning, like from Newcastle to London by train. I woke up at like 6 and like, no, actually earlier than that. The train was at like 6 or 7 in the morning. I went down, casted the game, and then afterwards, when I left, I'd been awake for like 20 hours. I was so wrecked. So tired, it was unreal. It was a great day, but I was so tired, so I don't really remember much of, like, after casting. Yeah, it like, honestly, I don't think that things like that can ever be done justice through a stream. You know, the things that, I don't know if you guys have been to like a football match or, you know, a concert or something like that where the floor is literally shaking, or there is like a real tangible atmosphere, and it's something that can't be picked up through a stream. For me, the Spodek is like a very special place, and the Polish fans, by the way, are just so cool and welcoming, like so kind. So, yeah, for me, that was a really, really cool experience, and definitely one of my favorite memories of, you know, casting. I feel very lucky. Like, if I never cast another major or tier 1 event, fair enough. I got to do some really cool events and really enjoy them. So I'm just grateful for what I've done, basically. Is this CT or T-sided map? It's a CT-sided map, but you can get a lot of success on the T-side, for sure. I feel like that's kind of a loaded question, because it depends on the teams. Like, some teams do typically have better T-sides than their CT side. And it depends stylistically how the two teams mesh up against each other. I don't think it's as black and white as, is this map T or CT sided? It's normally more grey area. There's a lot more variables at play. Who do I think will win this? I think this map will go to North. They're in a good position right here, but I think the best of 3 might still go the way of Endpoint, though. What we do know, for certain though, is that Endpoint need this pistol. A way to bring this back under wraps and to potentially put some pressure on North's economy. Pistol, vitally important. Robin using that same angle. We saw Crucial thread a shot through earlier onto Gade. Looking for information. Obviously, the chance of landing a headshot there is so slim. Out come the T's through connector. Lacro unable to land a headshot cleanly. But Cajun B has no problem picking up the slack. With a HE tossed in for good measure. And the bloodbath has been filled to the brim. And it's mainly Endpoint that feed into it. Mighty Max living on borrowed time, and they have collected on him. So good, solid pistol round from North. Wasn't necessarily anything like tactically outstanding, but the aim was on point. Thank you very much for the resub, Hovercat. Appreciate that, dude. Never really a hope for Flamesy there. 2 players locked in with MP9s at range and no real control over connector to try and bypass any of those issues. Crucial insta one tap onto Cajun B. That's a solid, healthy shot. Surreal had MSL dead to rights, can still finish him off. And that would be a FAMAS if he ran in to upgrade his gun. But decides that one tap ability from the scout is more useful at range, and I can't really hold that against him. Plus the fact that he can call on his teammates that there is a fallen weapon in bathrooms. Robin can come pick that up from MSL's corpse. There's actually an M4 there as well, so it's got a little bit better. Ooh, that 1D from Mighty Max. Out of nowhere, Endpoint actually have a real chance at winning this round. 35 seconds left. Surreal hiding, waiting, anticipating the push, and Lacro walks straight into the trap. And now Gade on verse 3. MP9 at range. He's going to be distraught that he's been in this position, and there's too many targets for him to deal with. Endpoint get it done. North from heroes to 0, as will be their economy. Thanks, is it Dekakiv? Thank you very much, dude. We'll see, Zany2K. Like, the thing is, I just love Counter-Strike, and this is going to sound like a strange thing to say because it's counterintuitive to like my career or whatever, but I just really enjoy Counter-Strike, and I think we're very fortunate there's a lot of casters that can fill in for, you know, Henry and Moses stepping back. If I'm one of them, awesome. I definitely won't turn my nose up at the opportunity, but if not, I'm not going to be really, you know, pissed off or anything about it, because we have plenty of casters that are very, very good. So we'll see what happens. Like, I'm pretty open-minded about what happens next. Endpoint now need to make sure they don't trip over like North did. Learn from their mistakes. Brisk entry from Robin. Daisy perched up on the site with a deagle. Shooting around players, but still gets one. Still alive a little bit longer. Finally gets perforated by Flamesy's M4 spray in the smoke. And the round now falling into position. There are a couple of worrisome moments for Endpoint. A couple of optimistic moments perhaps from North, but that's now been dashed. North now do have to tap out fully. What does subs mean? You get money from subs? Like, if someone subscribes to the channel, they basically pay like $4.99 to Twitch, and depending on how big the streamer is, they get anywhere from like 50 or 60% of that to... I actually don't know what the top streamers earn from a sub. Basically a way of supporting the streamer if you want to financially. So they're going to stack on the B side, but as we can see, Endpoint have no interest. Lekro also tagged down to 36. I'm not quite sure what happened there. You get knifed from a teammate, maybe? I'm not sure how else he would have been tagged, because he was nowhere near any of the T's. Now they realise it's going to be an A hit. Whether they have the aim on point is an entirely different matter, and it doesn't seem like that is the case whatsoever. Clean sweep. Was a full eco. Can't really expect anything from North. Can Swedish and Danes understand each other's language? Because Lekro is in a Danish team. My understanding is there are some similarities, and it depends whereabouts in Sweden or Denmark you live. I know some people can, but I'd imagine they might be coming in English, because like the comms situation for North won't be that difficult. They all speak fluent English. Everyone on the team speaks fluent English without any problems. So I'm not sure how it works. Maybe does someone in chat have some insight there? Thanks, Buggy. Appreciate it, dude. But I prefer to be a player over a caster if I had the chance to pick up one. Not anymore, man. I'm too old now to be a player. Like, 15 years ago, sure. 100% would have preferred to be a player, but I'm too old. Right, here we go. Into the main course. The game has got interesting. After a 7-0 start for North, Endpoint have battled their way back into this game. But North could still shift through the gears and put themselves with some daylight between the two. And Cajun B's aggression up through connector with a flashbang tossed in from MSL. Bags himself the first frag of what could be a handful, because he's still in a dangerous position. MSL smoking out, backs away. There's a lot of time that's going to be wasted from Endpoint if they're not careful, if they go hunting for that connector player, but they actually decide against it. They're going in for more of a ruthless, predatory mindset onto the A site. Max now repositioning to go up on long. See if he can at least draw a couple players' attention away. Does tag Lekro. That's going to get MSL interested, but not before he puts down Crucial. He gets traded back from Flamesy. 20 seconds to play with. North will have a good idea as to what's coming up, and they quickly rotate from B to A. The player advantage will be mitigated somewhat as Flamesy and Mighty Max both come in. It's a 2-on-2, but now the flank from AZ is good. Bomb gets planted. No, it doesn't. Gets denied. Last bullet through the smoke. That must have been a tick away from being planted. So, good round from North. A real topsy-turvy round, honestly. Back and forth throughout. Match will be called into a pause due to tactical timeout. Yeah, I'm observing while casting somewhat, and sometimes I have the auto-director on because reading chat, casting, and observing at the same time, it's not as easy as it sounds. I fully admit that I'm a bit of a pleb. Oh, does Lekro actually speak Danish? There you go, then there's your answer. This aggression. We saw Endpoint do this, but they weren't this aggressive. They didn't take the fight this hard to North, pardon me, when the roles were reversed, but North having no chill, going straight in, pillaging the T's, and then fall back. They don't get their hands on the AWP, which will be a bit of a sigh of relief on Endpoint. Endpoint slowing things down. They nearly got the job done last round by just pressing onto A via banana. So they may feel like there are some ways forward, maybe a couple of weaknesses that they can exploit. Mighty Max has picked up the AWP. He had a hell of a performance with it on train on the CT side. 35 seconds left. North still replenishing smokes over on B. Now the grenades start to fire in. Lekro hiding behind the truck. Has to come out into the open. Please with an MP9. It's not ideal for these positions. Molly, too high. Detonates in the air. Will not be spreading to anybody, but it's not needed. And Robin straight round the corner. Lekro, unbeknownst to him, actually baits in MSL, who is waiting on long. But because Robin pressed out to find that second player, he found the third as well. Betrayed by his own teammates as MSL, and North will have to save the 2 AKs. And that's their money going down the drain alongside it. Endpoint will hit 10. Yes, thanks for reminding me actually, Volcon. After this we have a duel, so if you're interested in watching a 1v1, which I'll be casting, we have a duel with two viewers. You might know one of them is Dust, who's a commentator as well. And Dualism. There'll be a 1v1, bragging rights, plenty of shit talking, I'm sure, between the two of them. Should be good fun. Best of 3. What rank am I? Mate, I'll have inactive rank now. I was global. Face at level 8. Was 10 a while ago, no longer the case. I just haven't actively played CS in a while. Like, I'll dabble now and again. I used to stream it a ton. Do I believe that North can still win? Absolutely. I think this is definitely like a 50-50. Obviously, Endpoint have the advantage. They've already won a map. But I think North can still battle back in this half. I would also like to say, though, that Endpoint have shown a lot of tenacity and grit to get back to this stage. After being 7-0 down, I think a lot of people wrote them off. I saw a lot of, like, Omega lols and UKCS lols and stuff in chat. Well, I've proven some of you wrong. AZ, one of the 2 AKs, has been found and taken away. And with that evaporated weapon, maybe the hopes and dreams of North in round 22 go with it. Nice work from Gade. There's another one. And the third as well. Gade lighting this round. He's making it doable for North, and they've picked it up off his 4K. That's an exceptionally sick play from Gade, and they needed one of those two AK-47s to really come alive. To eviscerate the oncoming Ts. It's a round that Endpoint should be winning. They'd already taken away one of the AKs on long, near the tree. But they didn't take down Gade. 20 and 12 with 9 assists to his name. Huge, huge plays. Some key utility has missed there. They tried to throw in the Molotov to deny the short push. It landed too high. MSL couldn't ask for a much easier shot. A slow, crouch-peeking Mighty Max sent reeling out. Gade is not a player that you want to give confidence to, because he will absolutely destroy you. And we're now seeing that this guy is just in cruise control. You might know both of them, right? I was famous once. Alright. I'm not gonna lie, I started that sentence and I was about to meme Dust. I was like, you might know one of them, it's dualism. Oh yeah, and the other one's Dust. But I didn't want to hurt his feels, you know? 20 seconds left, here come Endpoint. Entry is good. 4 players left alive, and Crucial and Robin both chip in with 1. But now the real task is ahead of them. The real difficulty starts to fall in. Robin perched at the back of the site. Never really had a hope, did he? Stuck on the bomb. Had to try and make something happen. He knows he's susceptible to being flashed out or naded or even Molotoved. They went walkies and he got punished. How do you try hard to level 10 on Face It? I think the most important advice I could give you, other than like the obvious stuff of like deathmatching and making sure you're warmed up and, you know, all that kind of stuff, is just be decent to other people. And I know this sounds like a really counterintuitive point, but you wouldn't believe how many times, well maybe you can actually, if you play CS you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're the kind of person that like rages and gets mad at teammates and just generally is a bit of an asshole, you're going to lose far more games. If you can try and diffuse people's explosive personalities and when it looks like they're about to fully tilt, if you can just chill people out, it goes a huge way to getting more Ws. How many times have you been in games where you've been wrecking the opposition, one of your teammates gets tilted at another guy and you lose off the back of it, or someone stops trying? The best advice I could give you is to go in there being as chill and zen as possible and try and like actually be like a decent human being to other people, because it's infectious. Some people can't be helped. You're going to lose some games. It's going to happen. But if you can treat people decently, you're more likely to win more games. I firmly believe that's true. Endpoint in Deagles. Do get a bomb plant, so it's really not too shabby, all things considered. But whether they can convert from this point, as the test is ahead of them, is another entirely great effort from Robin. 2 kills go his way. Mighty Max also with a Deagle from long range onto Lecro. And now Surreal is left alone, but not for much longer. He will join his teammates in their demise. 14-10, North looking good to take us to a 3rd map. Why they delay the stream so much? If you've been following like what's been going on with CS lately with the coaching situation, I think you'll understand. I think you can add 2 and 2 together. Crazy. That's some spicy spray, and that grenade could follow up some serious damage. Or perhaps not, but not really needed because MSL's AWP is on point. And with the AWP shot, that could be the round, and it could be the map following. There's not going to be much in terms of cash surplus available for Endpoint. Molly forces Lekro away. HE designated towards the back of the site, but no one's really home. Just negligible damage to Cajun. A minute on the clock. Max, Surreal, and Crucial have a steep uphill climb ahead of them, and they need to start working together in tandem. How are the entries looking right now? Damage to AZ, not enough to make really Endpoint feel that much more comfortable about their endeavors pushing forward, but they're going to have to be prodded in the back because time is behind them. It is chasing them down. They look to push into the site, but it's just into the firing squad of North. Cajun, AZ close it off, and Endpoint have 5 map points to save. So timeout has been called. How'd you get out of silver? At the risk of answering a troll question, just get your fundamentals and basics down. You don't have to go like crazy in-depth strats. Just make sure that you're hitting the deathmatch plenty. I would suggest if you're looking to get out of silver matchmaking, learn 2 maps really well and only queue them to start off with until you get out of silver, and then start to extend that into more maps. Learn multiple positions. Learn 2 or 3 smokes on either side. Be useful to your teammates. You don't have to reinvent the wheel to get out of silver. You just have to get the basics done better. You don't even have to be a great player to get out of silver, if I'm being honest. Go back and watch your own demos and be brutally honest with yourself. What did you do good? What did you do bad? Fix the bad, keep the good. Endpoint. It's pretty much what they've just been talking about. What are we doing good and bad? How do we fix the bad, and how do we maybe get some more rounds? Take this to overtime. HE lined up for Monster. Jade might take some of that. Oh, not just a bit. He takes 50. Down to 49 HP. Not an insignificant bit of ordnance that's been tossed out. Smoke in retaliation to block off the entrance to Monster. Uh-oh. Has that just given away what happens next? It may very well have done so. North are blitzing through Endpoint, picking up speed, having no chill, no survivors or prisoners being taken. It's down to Surreal. A man on a mission on train. But he's been derailed, as have Endpoint. 1-1. We go the distance.